politics of Ukraine.
You know, speaking of Ukraine, speaking of really cool shit. So there's not a lot of news on this right now, but apparently in like some Mexico, it's like a little town. So the cartel finally got so out of hand that the citizens have taken it into their own hands. They've become vigilantes. Like
I heard that's amazing.
They got rid of the local
vigilantes.
police force. They got rid of the local police force and they're like, fuck you, we're the law.
I did hear about that actually.
Yeah, none of the police force, like government refused to do anything about the cartels. So citizens have become vigilantes to take shit in their hands.
The police force over there is
about
really
that.
crap.
They're wearing like luchador masks and taking the streets, fucking shooting cartel people. It's ridiculous.
So it's like Guacamole.
Something like that.
Combined with machete.
Yeah, I'd go with that. Actually, it's really interesting. Just the sheer number of world events going on right now between Ukraine, Kiev, Venezuela. Yeah, that's another one that is seldom reported, which it's almost a tragedy, really, in comparison to Kiev.
Yeah, I mean the world's going pretty crazy now. But you know, on the brighter side, another really important world event.
Oh dear Christ!
No more.
Denland.
How about that?
Dude, the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer came out this week.
Oh, I thought you were going for
Are you
that.
fucking kidding me?
I thought you were about to get a boner about Dark Souls 2 again.
No,
that comes
Dude, I'm
later.
sorry, man. That cloud kind of look. Honestly, let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy for a minute. Somebody said something so stupid to me that it's made me completely worried about my favorite fucking series of all time being turned into a movie now. They were like, what if it's like the Green Lantern? And I was like, no! Oh god, please don't say that. Don't fucking say that. No.
Don't put that evil on us.
No, it's not gonna be like Green Lantern. They're like, yeah, but what if it's like the movie that bombs,
You shot your friend who said that.
That bombs. And I was like, no, you fucking jinxed it. I knocked on all the wood I could find.
The only thing I can see, where he's getting at, is if people just kind of see it and look like what is this? What are these characters? What is this about?
Guardians of the Galaxy is not a well-known comic.
Yeah,
so it is easy to fuck that up. But at the same time, it worries me so much because the director that did it did Slither, so I'm on an okay point with that. I mean, Slither was a great movie. It was fucking crazy. It was enjoyable. But I'm so fucking worried for Guardians of the Galaxy now. Now I'm all scared and terrified and
I mean, honestly, I never read any comics, but I know the characters by reading up on them. But I'm actually really looking forward to seeing it.
One of my coworkers said that casting Chris Pratt as Star-Lord
is genius.
Well, he said that he thought it was a bad idea, but what he saw from the trailer, he was afraid that they were just casting Chris Pratt to play the same character he plays in Community.
You mean in Parks and Recreation?
Parks and Rec.
No, because so far he hasn't. Because I was surprised. Something that really scared me is the part where they're in the jail cell. Famous in the trailer, there's this part where they're in the jail cell and somebody's using his using his headphones, and he gets all mad, and I was like, wait, is that Chris Pratt? Because I was confused. Wait a minute, he's actually being kind of serious. Because that's how Star-Lord is. He does not like it when people touch his stuff. He does not like it. In the comics, he does not like it when you touch his stuff. It's very bad to touch his stuff. And so, I was surprised. I mean, I don't know. I can see Chris Pratt as doing it. I mean, nobody fucking expected Robert Downey Jr. to be a good Iron Man.
I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see how Batista kind of does as what's his name?
Who are you talking about?
Batista.
Oh, as Drax as Squirt?
Yeah. I'm kind of interested to see how well he does.
But Batista was fine. Drax isn't tough. He just kills things.
Pretty much. Yeah, and also Batista's used to acting.
Oh no, you do know.
I'm not counting WWE.
You do know the funny part is Batista's a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan. When he got the Drax part, he cried. He was crying. He was so fucking happy. He's a huge fan.
He's a huge man.
He is
He's a big guy.
Yeah. But yeah. Fuck. Who was it? Voicing Rocket Raccoon again?
Oh shoot. I forgot his name.
I'm not really much of a comic
book
guy, but I'm incredibly interested in how this will turn out.
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I'm worried, terrified, but very excited.
Who's voicing Rocket?
I have no idea.
You'll have to elaborate on the whole Terrified bit.
Okay, because the Terrified, the reason I'm scared.
No!
Actually, see to hit you. I can't, God.
He's one of the people that we can hit.
Hit him. I'm so depressed.
No, do not while he has his beard.
I'm just so
He didn't spill it, so he's good.
Look,
Okay.
you know what? The reason I'm not worried it'll turn out like Spider-Man or Green Lantern is because the Marvel studio has a good track record. They have a very good track record.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
live action
With Disney.
movies.
Very, very good. And the reason why I'm worried more than anything is because, well, since they're lesser known characters, what?
Also, I found out the person who voices Rocket Raccoon is Bradley Cooper, apparently.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay.
right. Yeah, that I'm definitely okay with that.
Internet.
And
But the thing is that right now they're moving the Marvel movie territory into these characters that not a lot of people know. Like nobody really knows Ant-Man's backstory. Nobody really gives a shit about Guardians of the Galaxy except big Marvel fans. If you're a big Marvel fan, then Guardians of the Galaxy is all that for you.
But
because
isn't
it's
like
literally
Guardians of the
a better
Galaxy
version of the Avengers comic.
But isn't Guardians of the Galaxy going to kind of lead a little bit more into Thanos and all that? Sebastian.
probably, I mean, it's
I don't know,
It's-
maybe.
Like I thought.
this
I
is
thought
the
we got ahead
opening
of time
into
with
the
them as
Galactic
well.
Marvel
This
universe.
is the opening actually to the Infinity Gem arc.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because,
He's gonna have more of a part to it.
Spoilers.
Hey, shut your mouth.
What is her name? No, this
Gamora?
is yeah, Gamora is Thanos' daughter. So
Wait, who's?
Gamora is
The
Thanos'
green skin
daughter.
chick.
Really?
Yeah,
I know the
that's
green
Thanos'
chick, but I know her name. I
Like,
didn't hear what you said
he's-
earlier.
Like this is Thanos' last living child, apart from the thing in the Infinity thing. But yeah, they do not get along.
What's her name?
And the
Death or
Infinity
something
War.
like that?
No, Infinity.
Um,
Is it Thanos? Is
Yeah,
it Lady
yeah.
Death like his
Yeah.
wife? Like the
No,
God.
literally death.
I
I
have
His name is Death, okay. I thought it was Lady
it's,
Death.
no, it's literally.
today.
Oh, the name is literally Death.
But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. Bottom line, you know, I don't think it could turn out like Spider-Man, but what I am worried about is just the concept that, since it's just personal worriment. It's just that since it is my favorite comic book of all time, I'm scared they'll fuck it up.
And the current
Back in the machine
the
gun.
current run is really freaking good. If you have the desire,
Yeah, the
go
new
down to your
Guardians
local
run.
comic shop, get the graphic novels. It's fantastic.
Also, just to tell you guys, the New Guardians, this team up they have right now, which is what I'm surprised about. This new team up they have, this is all of New Guardians. This is like the New Guardians. This is not. There's no Moondragon. It's not some of the older characters in
It's
Darkhawk.
the originals of.
No, this is like the new team. This is like 2000. This is after
Yeah.
King's Realm. This is after Realm of Kings. Is what we're talking here.
So I heard that there was like as soon as they released this trailer, like what was it? The guy who made Rocket Raccoon's comics and all that, like apparently there was like a big boost in sales in his comics.
Yeah,
And
people.
he was all like,
people-
"What the
yeah,
hell?"
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy sales boosted because people have no fucking idea who the hell they are.
Yeah,
Because
everyone's
they
like,
want
"We
to
gotta
see
read
what the
up on
hell's
this
going
now."
on and see why they should love these characters.
Oh yeah, and casting Benicio del Toro as the collector was genius. I'm sorry, he's so good at it. He's so awkwardly bad and fantastic at it that it's great. Like he pulls it off. The collector is a very serious, pissy dude, and so I don't know. We'll see.
He's got, like,
Honestly,
Mega Rose
I'm
TV.
excited for it. I'm ready for it. I'm also a little worried for it, but I mean, if they fuck it up, then they fuck it up. I'll still have the comics. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like
They're
it's
not
not
gonna
Amazing
fuck up the
Spider-Man,
comic.
which is like this another terrible try at a series I adore. It's literally the first try at a series that I adore. So there's a chance for another reboot that could be better. And then we have Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
God, let's not speak of that evil.
No, the new.
Hey, look, it's Galactus.
Yeah, let's not speak of that evil.
Yeah. But I am excited because they're going to introduce more Infinity Gems. We'll see where it goes. Guardians of the Galaxy is going to introduce a bigger overarching storyline, very big overarching storyline. And the Cosmic Marvel Universe, who knows? Maybe by 2017 we'll see a Nova movie, and I would.
That would be pretty sick.
Or maybe we'll start seeing a Defenders movie. Oh no, Defenders. You guys do know that the talk of is that they're going to do Defenders into a TV show, right? Heroes for Hire is getting its TV series soon. Also, they just introduced on the last topic of Marvel stuff. They just introduced Deathlock into Agents of Shield, so that's a big deal. So that show's actually going somewhere now instead of just like we don't know what we're
Finally.
doing. It's just to clean up crew the TV series.
I haven't been watching the Shield
Yeah,
series yet. I don't know how it is. Is it okay?
It's very.
It's a hater
It
alone
has
kind
the
of
same
thing.
problem Alien Resurrection did. It has a fantastic team. It's just like God knows what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, it's just really like boring.
They're just
so.
me.
Like I said, it's a hater alone
Yeah,
kind of thing. If you like it, whatever.
Characters. One
It's
of
not
the
gonna be
things
anything
that
relevant
I'm
later
still a little pissed off about in the Marvel universe is they're being cockteased about the Midnight Suns.
Alright.
I mean, they had Morbius have his own comic again, which I loved.
Now Ghost
except
Rider is
it
part
was-
of the Thunderbolts.
Except, the Morbius comic was too slow, and they're like, why isn't it selling? Because you're taking it too goddamn slow.
That was boring, honestly. That was a little bit boring.
Until
No,
like,
but
the end of issue 7,
But
yeah.
what I mean in that
But
sense
yeah,
is that what I mean in that sense is if you've never read Morbius, it's a terrible character development.
Yeah, it really was. And then, like you said, Ghost Rider's back. Fuck yeah, I can't wait to start reading that.
And then there's another Ghost Rider.
It's
And
free,
he's
right?
like the Kyle Rayner of Ghost Riders because he's like, I have anime Ghost Rider hair and now I drive a
And it
fucking
converts.
Mustang
Yeah, it's awesome.
and listen to Drive Hard all the time.
I haven't
so-
read. I haven't looked into
and,
Ghost Rider 3
I'm
yet.
not-
Are they using the same actor?
I know you noticed this.
No, they're not doing a Ghost Rider 3 movie.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I thought
they're
we
talking
were-
about the.
We're talking about comics.
Okay. I thought they
Not,
said
not,
they were
not
doing
the
it
shit
early.
adaptation that I never speak of. Like, I
Movie.
do that. So Ghost Rider is so bad, it
Yeah.
holds a place,
I really
it
watched
holds
it.
itself on a pedestal above Spider-Man, alright? It has a shelf dedicated to it by hatred for it. I will literally murder Nicolas Cage one day. I swear to God, I will kill
Hey,
Nicolas Cage one day.
Sebastian, we put you in a Nicholas Rage.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what pisses me off too? He's a huge Ghost Rider fan. How could you fuck it up when you're a fan of the comics?
It's
He has a
Nicolas
Ghost Rider tattoo on his back and he fucked it up.
Because Nicolas Cage can't act to save his life.
Here's
Yeah.
the question that I have for you. Why does I know that you've been bitching a whole lot about Spider-Man 3. Why is it placed underneath it?
Amazing Spider-Man?
Yes.
Because Ghost Rider was literally so terrible. It was, I mean, at least Spider-Man pulls, at least Spider-Man pulls some reference from its source material. The Ghost Rider movie was like, nah, we'll just do Ghost Rider by ourselves, and now he's writing up a building, and it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I didn't even.
It was
I didn't
goofy,
even
it was
bother my
goofy
time.
when it should have been a very dark, gritty, realistic.
Yeah, and I didn't even waste my time on
They
the
wanted
fucking
my Spawn.
sequel.
Well, for starters, it's Nicolas Cage, and you're saying dark and gritty.
Yeah.
Those are two
Yeah,
things
it's
that
kinda
are
like,
very conflicting.
But
He
look,
can try, but he
the
fails
last
a
thing-
lot.
the last thing about the Midnight Suns, is, I know you saw it,
Uh-huh.
but the Superior Spider-Man Annual with Blackout, he was one of the big bad guys in
He was.
the Midnight Suns arc,
And they brought him back.
and they brought him back, and
And they brought him back, and Spider-Man kind of brutalizes the shit out
oh
of
my
him.
god, it was
A
beautiful.
little bad.
And
Was that one of the?
I mean,
where's the rest of my Midnight Suns? Where's fucking Blade and the Night Stalkers?
Blade is getting a new series.
Yeah.
Supposedly Blade is getting a new series. Supposedly.
Well then.
Because Punisher is getting a new series. So.
Oh, God.
Punisher's great.
Ugh.
Punisher's written
Yeah,
very
Punisher's
well.
pretty good.
Punisher is fucking badass.
The movies, on the other hand, woo.
So
Yeah, that really
Yeah.
sucked.
That's why
No, but the
you
new Punisher
read the
comic I've heard
comics.
is great because
Didn't
it's
they have
written in kind of a true crime LA Noir style. So it's kind of like Detective Comics with the Punisher. So it's a little bit less concentrated on the gore and more concentrated on him being this kind of actual character,
Anti-hero,
an actual
yeah.
character.
You know what's really sad is I never read like there's Punisher comics. I've seen, yes. I never read those. I never read the Ghost Rider comics, and I still know that both of those are fucking horrible movie series.
Oh yeah, they're atrocious.
They're that bad.
They are atrocious. You know, speaking of things that are also atrocious, you know, I recently just rediscovered my intellect for having appreciation for the Mass Effect ending after everybody said it was so terrible. I know I mentioned this like earlier before we started the podcast. Like we watched this video on gamer entitlement, and the guy brings up a point about the Mass Effect storyline and why a lot of people were really mad about it. You know, the ending. And if you are mad about it, I'm about to blow your fucking mind.
I never had a problem with it. Like
See,
when I played
You're
it,
really smarter than me at this point because I just got very angry and very frustrated with it.
I was
because-
I haven't even finished the third game.
I kind of
Like
did
I
have a
give a
problem with
shit.
it, but then after a little bit, I was like, I really didn't care that much because the rest of the game leading
Yeah.
up to it was perfect.
Yeah,
for me.
but
don't
I
care.
finally realized why it's genius. It is utterly genius. So the thing they
Blew
did,
our minds, so.
the thing they did, and thank you to Ivy and Justin for talking about this, sitting me down and proving me wrong, because now I'm grateful for that. Because I can appreciate a truly fantastic ending to a game. So the thing that they did is, the point that was brought up is, it's kind of written in a sense like an H.P. Lovecraft story. And I thought about that and I was like, how have I never seen that before? And it was actually Ivy brought this point that said it ends in a sense that it's actual science fiction. Most science fiction stories back in the 80s and the 70s ended very negatively. There was never happy endings because most science fiction stories, their overall scheme was, in the big grand universe, you are meaningless. And that's the gist of it. There is no your decisions outcome universe. No, it's your decisions outcome one little solar system.
The one interesting tidbit on that one is that the one story that most people can relate to on that one is I have no mouth and I have a screen. That is a solid example of old school science fiction.
Also Call of Cthulhu and the Mountains of Madness and stuff like that. Those
Best
books
role
end
playing game
very
ever.
negatively.
Are you referring to the red, blue, green?
Yes,
thing?
the
Okay.
original one.
I want to talk. I think talk about like the at their ending.
No.
Very end.
Those were terrible for different reasons because they went back on their word
But,
and
like,
destroyed their own genius.
I was kind of
The-
disappointed, but I wasn't like angry about it. I wasn't like, oh my god, this is so stupid. I wasted this.
No.
much time or anything. Like, no.
We'll get to that one
Let-
later. What
Let him finish his
You
point.
wanted to say something, Kayla. What's up?
I was trying to get his attention. So
Oh.
I mean, yeah, just, those endings are bad for different reasons. Like, it's bad because they submitted to gamer entitlement and went back on their word after having created a genius thing that nobody could
And
appreciate.
then they went back to try to kind of add
Yeah,
more
I went back
to
and
it.
tried to
There's
fix
like,
something that didn't
no.
need fixing because
You
people
didn't
were too busy
need to.
bitching about this thing that they didn't get.
EA,
When in turn they created the most genius ending to an epic science fiction trilogy.
EA
they created.
caved. That's their
Oh
problem.
no! EA is bitches and fuck them for many
Yeah.
reasons.
That's what I'm saying.
Many,
They
many,
caved
many
for.
reasons. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
it's not
Overstretched
EA. It
way.
was Bioware. First off. Secondly, like
Oh, that's true.
No, the only reason they created endings is because of EA. Because they were like, oh, we'll boost sales if we do more stuff.
If we add like downloadable content and add an additional.
Yeah, that's why they're also making a Mass Effect 4.
See, my thing with the ending
they don't
is
need to
like
make
I
them.
saw so much negative shit about it before I played the game. Like it took me, a few months to actually play the game, and when I finished it, like I didn't have a problem with the ending. I didn't know if I had the original ending or the
Yeah,
new
it's
revamped
great.
one. So like, what was the big deal?
So the big deal with it, for the people that don't get it, is the big deal with it was that originally BioWare, and they shouldn't have said this because it's kind of what caused all this anger, was they originally said, so in the end your choices will amount to everything. People took that so to heart that they were like, oh man, my character, everything I do is gonna have all these. They said we'll have like 30 different endings and all stuff. They just had all this stuff, and all people
they
expected
really
that.
built up to it. With
They
the
had a lot of
character
build-up to
through all 3 games.
Yeah.
They really built themselves up.
They built up a lot, and then they crushed a lot of people. But what was genius about it is that it was truly a traditional science fiction ending. When it ended, the game just had this sense of your choices in the grand scheme of everything don't fucking matter. Because no matter what you do, you can't fight nature. So it's genius. It was beautifully written. It's great. And it did a great job of telling you that science fiction is science fiction in that sense.
It was basically the base definition of a fire victory.
Yes! No matter
Doesn't
what
matter
you
how
did.
great you did.
Yeah, no matter what you did, no matter how hard you fought in the end, the 3 decisions was all you got, and each of them weren't really that great.
It was all hollow.
In the end, everybody's fucked. That's it. That's the genius of it. It's a very
Everyone
traditional.
moves on to their miserable lives.
Yeah,
basically.
everything is a very traditional science fiction ending, and it was great. And I learned to appreciate it a lot after going back and I read Mountains of Madness and a lot of other Cthulhu stories and H.P. Lovecraft stories, and I understood like this is genius the way that they wrote this because all this build up through 3 games just to make you understand that all your choices were fucking meaningless in the end. No matter what you did, there's nothing you can do to change the outcome, and that's great. It's really negative and cynical.
Can we edit in like every single one of those indie end AMVs ever
Oh,
over
yeah.
top of this?
Oh, yeah.
Just to kind of put the icing on the cake.
But
It's that emo ass fucking.
it's just it may be cynical, but it's genius because
Of course,
it's
edit that in.
it's genius because it's a classic ending. It's a very justified, well-deserved ending to such an epic science fiction trilogy. To something that has such a Cthulian kind of just, very Ridley Scott-esque kind of sense. It's very, very derived from a lot of different books. It's derived from Orson Scott Card. It's derived from, I can't remember the names of other science fiction writers that I love because I'm
Ray
blanking right now.
Asimov?
Ray Bradbury, other stuff like that. A lot of fantastic writers. It's derived from a lot of that, and a lot of those stories never got good endings. Like Ender's Game did not have a happy ending.
No.
Oh,
And
no,
that, I
no.
mean, that's the biggest example most people can relate to. Ender's Game does not have a happy ending.
There's some-
I like
No, everybody
when
ends up
I was
fucked
growing
at
up,
the
I
end.
liked
I really bad people.
when I was growing up, I liked Andre Norton's writing, and like those stories were beautifully crafted, pretty dark,
Yeah.
and
Science fiction has always been a dark world.
ending not all that great.
Yeah.
That's
Science
why
fiction has
I-
always been a dark world. and
That's why I've had
great about it.
a huge appreciation for the older Stephen King novels, simply because they do touch back on that darker ending.
Yeah.
Like, anybody that has read Salem's Lot knows that it is a very gritty novel.
Yeah, I mean,
It touches on that eerie aspect that this could happen, but at the same time, at the very end, when you're all through it, it's like, you know, it's like it was basically the story that was told, and you're listening to a broken man,
yeah.
someone that lost
That's-
everything and
that's-
has nothing remaining.
That is why the Mass Effect ending was in turn genius.
So play with your foreskin.
It was very good. Are you guys doing it?
Nothing.
They're doing it.
I guess.
It was
Yeah.
this spring
Speaking
year.
of playing with my foreskin, complain more about Amazing Spider-Man 2.
It was a good
I
segue. That was a good segue.
That's the only way you can
Why?
use foreskin to segue into any of the ones. that
Tell
I
us in the
guess-
comments. Would you like to hear me talk for an
Let's talk about
hour?
Dark Souls.
Telling you all like Amazing Spider-Man is the worst fucking movie series of all time. Because I have so many valid points I would love to enlighten you all with.
Wait,
Like, comment, and
Spider-Man
subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe if you like listening to me masturbate to Sebastian's Rage.
You can listen to me, you know, when you
All
do it.
that fapping.
But yeah, Mass Effect, great ending. Go replay it, and you know before you go replay Mass Effect, read any classical science fiction story. Read an H.P. Lovecraft story. Read older Stephen King. Read Ender's Game. Just read classical science fiction or regular fiction, and you'll get why. If you'll get why, you'll understand why it's utter genius what they did.
Get into that brooding mood where you close all the curtains and then act all the
No,
stories.
don't get in a brooding.
Put on your
Just-
Linkin Park album.
Yes.
Just the pure shock of being hit by that revelation that your decisions didn't matter was what made that so great. It was the shock value. After playing a game like Spec Ops: The Line, I understood why Mass Effect is such a genius ending.
And going off of that, actually,
There's words.
yes.
Frozen?
Oh, you want
That's a weird
to
segue.
Because we want to
Because I was gonna say that, like, going off of that, like, I can see
That's later. Later.
one of the things that I want to mention about all that is that oh my lord, freaking wow, you made me lose my train of thought.
Yes.
Spaceship! You guys know they're making a sequel to the Lego movie, right?
Yeah, they
They're announced they're making a sequel.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
I
know.
want
What is that?
this.
2017
My body is ready.
slated for.
Your body's gonna have to wait for years.
I don't care.
I want
So
this.
ready.
I know,
It's
God.
kind of Luke.
It
You
was
know,
so
speaking
good.
of
Like,
speaking of the Lego movie, you can say that for the review. Speaking of the Lego movie, have you guys heard of the controversy behind that?
What?
You touched on it briefly.
Yeah,
I would
some
love
of-
to hear an
So
elaboration.
basically, the elaboration is most news networks, sort of like Fox and a lot of conservative news networks.
You know, the people that everybody trusts to
Sentinel
listen to.
Media.
No. That's. I mean, a lot of people listen to conservative news networks. That's fine, but I mean, it's just like and this is all media. They love to over exaggerate and they love to over analyze.
Well, that's
Except
all.
when it's about Ron Paul. Because if you've ever seen the Jon Stewart segment on Ron Paul syndrome, oh my God, it's genius. That poor man is so ignored. I feel so bad for him. Ran up third place in the Republican runnings, and they refused to acknowledge his existence. That was horrible. Poor guy. But yeah, no. So basically, the controversy is that apparently, since the main villain is the CEO, the movie is blatantly about teaching kids that capitalism is bad and we should not have it anymore.
Are you
I
fucking kidding me?
No, I'm dead serious.
I
That's
did-
literally their
I did
argument.
get the vibe of the movie being a fuck you to the system, but it wasn't against capitalism. It was against societal norms, saying
Yeah.
you have to do this, you have to fit in. No, do the fuck what you want and be happy.
Do what
Be
you feel like.
yourself.
Follow your dreams.
Be the special.
Believe.
Be the special.
I know it sounds like a cat poster, but
But
Cause like when you said that, the first thing I thought of was the creativity video that they put out, the Hug Me I'm Scared one. Where
yes,
it's like you Green isn't a wheel. So the thing was, the whole point of the movie was, you can be creative, but you have to do it in certain lines. And if
You
you
have
go
to be
out of
creative,
the,
but
if you
they-
go
yeah,
out of the
don't
box,
fail Lego and all that.
then you fuck everything. It's
Yeah, and not only that, but like, you know, you try and go right after it. It's like, whoa, you need to slow down for everybody else. You
Well, that
know?
was apparent for everybody except for those corporations that are throwing a fuck fit because they just wanted to stir the shit pot.
Right. Well, that's Fox News for you in a nutshell. You know, they have to find something. I mean,
Yeah, they'll
shoot,
just
you
hire some guy with highlighted note cards and call
No,
that,
no, no,
you
no,
know,
not
news.
even that. No, they hire people off of Tumblr that cause drama and then get them to write their segments.
Because they're trolls.
We're
Conservative
idiots.
trolls.
We're idiot trolls or
Fox.
something.
Fox News were the original trolls. Like, comment, subscribe if you agree.
More like fuck.
ATO does not condone your
No, they
No,
they do it
views.
for
You
the
can be Republican, Democrat, Independent. I don't give a fuck because I still
They
love
do
you.
it for the
Just
right-
go vote, you goddamn retards.
They do
Hey,
it for the ratings, dude. That's
Speaking
all
of
they
voting.
want. They want people to all listen to them, and then when the people argue about it, they go to the websites and complain
No,
about it.
they don't. People don't participate in political.
Speaking of voting,
speaking of voting, random encyclopedia tidbit I found out the other day. Texas
I'm gonna use that word
is
now.
how low on the 50 state ranking of voter turnout?
Probably.
Oh man, we are low as shit.
Last.
47.
Pretty
Jesus
fucking close.
Christ.
Yeah, that sounds about
The
right.
only one lower than us is Alaska,
Because there's
Alabama, and I think some other
Hawaii?
fucking state that doesn't matter.
Probably Hawaii, because there's like
What?
no one there.
Montana?
You
But
know,
anyway, that's fucking ridiculous.
so
Fucking ridiculous.
That's
yeah, Lego movie controversy is a little bit ridiculous, but a more important controversy
Who the
that
fuck cares?
I'm kind of worried about is the
Oh,
Miyazaki
fuck.
films controversy. Because that's a little sad. I mean, like, that man, I love it because he went out with a bang. He went out with this. I'm going to release a movie that is going to piss off so many people, but be great in so many ways that it's so hard for you to hate it, but you know it's still very racist and wrong in a lot of ways.
Wait, you're gonna watch it still?
Oh yeah, no, I've already seen it.
I do.
Well,
I haven't
Everybody's
seen it.
gonna watch it.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but the basic gist of it is the movie is about the aerospace engineer that invented and basically created most of Japan's Air Force during World War II. It is a very dark take. It's not one of his light-hearted movies. It's very different, Miyazaki. It's very like, I'm done with my career. This is kind of my last movie, so I'm going to go out with a very serious kind of political bang. And it's a great film. I can't remember the name of it because I always forget. But it's like
When the wind rises.
Yeah,
It's
When the
Rise
Wind
on
Rises.
Galatra.
When the Wind Rises. It's a great film. I recommend you see it. And but yeah,
Really,
the
really
controversy is a lot of people are very offended. A lot of people are really worried that this is going to cause a lot of issues and a lot of like racism.
Seriously, we need to get over World War II.
Oh yeah, no,
Too
it's
much
America's still
No
hey,
longer
whoa,
No,
hold
no,
on.
seriously.
Hold on. You'll hurt America's everything. That's all our country's based on is the
Yeah,
fact that we
because
won
we
World War
fucking,
II.
that's it. We were still on World War II hype.
America number
6
one.
Yeah,
fucking,
we beat the Nazis. Remember
The
that like
40s.
70 years ago?
it's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like,
Was it
why? It just
bullshit?
needs to be let go. I mean, seriously?
Yeah,
That's
like
our
they say in Frozen. Let it go.
Let it go!
Still haven't seen Frozen yet, but I
Which
can
you have to.
You
Yeah.
dirty
Yeah.
underachiever. That movie will
I haven't
fucking...
seen it either.
That
so
will
When Alice
cry.
Cooper
me
dies,
neither.
you can watch it.
You'll have to drag me to go and see it too.
So I guess I'll have a Frozen movie party tomorrow.
Oh, that sounds like fun. One thing I did want to segue on from
Yeah.
the whole Lego movie controversy is that, and honestly, this kind of ties in with also the gamer entitlement and everything else, is that we, as a society, have come complacent with being catered to.
Placent?
Complacent. Complacent.
Yeah, I heard.
Cater to?
How do I
You mean gamer entitlement?
Yes, yes.
Because that's what that's about.
Oh, I know. But I'm saying that because, like, in many different cultures, like, be it a movie fandom or a video game following, you know, I mean, shit, Call of Duty fans, I don't care. They're enjoying themselves. They're not bothering anybody. You know, they're entitled to have.
But
their
violent
fun
video
there.
games make kids want to go hurt people.
No, the crazy ass people that harass them into the ground are the ones that are making them kill people. See, that's the one thing that most people seem to not draw a line from, and it does bother me a little bit.
But it's also
guns.
parents not stepping in and
Well,
saying
not
enough.
necessarily, and because I'm on social media a lot. Go ahead, Kayla.
You need to stop pumping and fingering that chair. It's distracting me.
Oh, I'm
sorry.
I'm,
And that dog is
kicking
probably
my dog.
seasick and that damn
He's
shit.
just over here going, and then he starts doing this number. I'm like, okay.
He's dried up in the chair.
You know, on that sense,
Sweetie, sweetie.
It's not. That's like telling me that getting cancer is enjoyable.
So-
But I'm not Breaking Bad.
What if you
Okay,
have
I can't be
You
Bryan
have the
Cranston.
best
How can it be
movies
enjoyable?
in
I'm not Bryan Cranston. The only person in the world that can have cancer and be enjoyed by it is fucking Bryan Cranston. Because he will actually have a meth lab at that point.
What if you had a cancer fetish though?
Maybe at that
That's
point,
gross.
right?
Like banging.
So wait, what on earth was the point that you were gonna get at before you went
Take off your wig.
You need to watch Prisoners. If you haven't seen the movie yet, I watched it recently.
Tumors.
Holy shit. It is kind of like the old David Hall.
Oh.
Fuck, are you too young?
I think
I
she
know,
You're
but-
telling
Cross the
me about a
line.
cancer fetish.
Wait, are y'all talking about something even more controversial than Terry Schiavo?
Yes. Military check.
Oh, yeah.
That's non-canon. That can't come in here.
That's
No, you know what, whatever, I'm making it meta, new meta.
I hate this new meta.
We're all just like,
That was crossing the no.
We're all just Lego men in a world we
So,
can't
someone
control.
put up the drink counter for Terry Schiavo.
Oh dear.
You should
Let's
sit.
go.
We already do that.
no, if you haven't seen Prisoners, it's kind of in the same style as the old Zodiac movie from 2007. It's really good. Very dark. Very, very interesting.
Very
It's got
good.
Hugh Jackman in it. And he's not Wolverine for once. I was
Very
like,
what?
oh.
So wait, is he like not scruffy as all fuck?
Yeah, he is. He's like a rugged dad, you know.
Oh, well,
He
like
can't
a
sell
family.
sex if he's not pretty. Seriously, that's all he's good for, is selling sex. with
No,
people
he's
like
also
that.
a very, very great actor.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
Prisoners.
yeah, I wasn't saying he wasn't a good actor. I'm just saying all of his movies I could watch on mute and it would be just as good. Like Brokeback Mountain, I prefer to watch it on mute. And
perspective
I will
this
I will
Make my own
not
dialogue.
watch that movie.
we truly
I
appreciate
would
when you
not
not
watch
watch
that movie. I
why?
just couldn't do it.
I wish I knew how to quit you. Oh, it's such a good movie. Oh, Heath Ledger.
You know what else is a good
Oh,
movie?
yeah.
Such a girl.
Oh,
Whatever.
you're gonna have an ETL watch this Brokeback Mountain?
Yeah!
Oh,
I
God.
second that. Seconded.
Oh,
It's
yeah. Before we do that,
I think that would be our final episode ever.
If we did that, we would have to go camping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be bumping any of you guys. I know how to quit y'all.
I'll bring the condoms.
So
before-
before you're gonna go on about getting incredibly smashed and then going and getting lost about trying to find the dragon's den.
So before we do that, we're gonna have to force Caleb to play probably the hardest video game ever.
Toho?
Dark Souls.
No.
What?
It's Bravely Default. I'm kidding.
It's not
Casual.
Whatever.
Why are you
I'm
so
not
into
casual.
thinking that game is hard? What are you, a bitch?
No, the game itself is actually easy. It's just the demo itself kind of threw you in an area saying, okay, go out there and go hunt these things. The mobs were like level 10, you were level 1.
You had access to like half of the classes.
We need to make her
That
play
might have been
Battle
why I did not
Codes.
check that
Oh,
out.
no.
Hey, what game am I supposed to be playing?
Toho.
What's that game that they're playing on Steam Train right now?
Which one? There's a shitload of them.
What's
Metal
it?
Slug?
Metal?
No.
Oh,
Ares-
I know what you're talking about. I don't
Ares
know.
Action.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck no.
No, don't play that game.
No,
That's-
no, let's just go back to our roots. Let's make her play I Wanna Be the Guy.
Oh! Yes!
Or you can play Super Meat Boy.
No, I Wanna Be the
Oh,
Guy.
I wanna be the
Oh,
guy.
no. You didn't play me Super Meat Boy. That's actually
No,
I want to be the
play
guy
that.
is so
Yes.
much better.
It
It
is.
is.
It
really
is so
is.
much
I
better.
don't
It's-
know this. What is
The
this?
thing is, Super
It
Meat
is-
Boy.
I want to be the
You've
guy.
never seen it?
Yeah,
That's
Well,
what
it
it
is.
is. You
Super
want to be the
Meat
guy.
Boy, and it's
Allow-
kind of, it's not as punishable as I Want to Be the Guy.
Well, allow me to elaborate and make it a bit simpler. It is not the journey, but the experience.
Yeah.
That is I Want to Be
It
the Guy
really is.
personified.
It really
You
is.
have to play it to truly appreciate
What was that
it.
comment I
and-
said in
Like,
Dark Souls?
what, like the,
About
at
the
the
new
very
trailer?
opening, you go to the...
No, don't spoil it.
Love
I
it.
wanna have her play like the first few levels and just
Carson.
die laughing.
Carson, Sebastian, it's not about death. It's about what you learn from death.
Well,
Did you see that trailer? When it
Oh
came out?
my
Dark Souls 2?
god!
So to elaborate, what we're doing is we've come up
Wow.
with quite a few ideas for these new segments that we're going to do separately from these core
I just force fed
podcasts.
everybody in the podcast the cookie.
And one of them is to
Heck,
have me play extremely hard games because I am not a gamer.
Because she's bad.
I'm very bad at the
Too
games.
casual for
But
us.
it'll also make
I'm
it very
uncasual.
lovable because
Let's give her
because of
amnesia.
sheer innocence and ignorance.
No.
Oh man, like throwing her into Dark Souls, she's gonna be like, this is so much fun. This is everything's so wonderful.
I think
this
that's-
is so easy! Oh my god! Sorry, that was too loud.
Whoops.
No, I asked about that on our
And now
Facebook.
Sebastian is crying about the
I
editing
asked-
he'll have to do later.
I asked about that on our Facebook page. I was like, "Is there any games you guys would like to watch us or like see us play?" And someone said, "Let's play Amnesia." I'm like, "You know what? I actually wouldn't mind playing.
No,
that.
that's
I never owned it."
no,
Oh, let's make you play Amnesia! Yes!
Oh, no,
man.
that's one that y'all are gonna have me play. Remember?
Yeah, we're also gonna make Caleb play it too.
Oh man.
Both of y'all.
No, we can
I
make a
hate
both
horror
play.
games.
We'll just sit
I
there and
can't
hold one
stand
mouse
anything
and the
more. I
keyboard.
don't wanna do
That's
that.
perfect for us, Caleb.
Yeah,
You're
fear
fear
sustains
me.
one person
No,
on the keyboard,
seriously.
you're only on the mouse.
No.
You gotta work together.
We'll start with
Oh,
slower.
Oh my
What do you expect this to be? Should we call it like the Kayla and Tuck CSI gaming session? 2 idiots, 1 keyboard?
Enhance!
No, I'm not kidding. You guys make me play Amnesia or anything like it, and I will cry.
Okay.
I will
We'll get it on video.
I will scream, and I will
So
cry.
loud.
It's
Perfect.
okay. We're not gonna make you play anything like that. That's my job because
No,
I'm
we'll
so.
make
It's
No,
not fun to watch you
Robert
play.
and I
We'll
should
make
do
you
a
play
dual
Dead
let's
Space.
play of every single scary game out there. We're just
Jump
doing
scares?
non-baby phase.
Not that scary.
It's like,
What was the one that
it's just the simplest.
What was that recent one that Markiplier was doing playing with the
I don't know. All I heard was Markiplier and my mind turned off.
you don't like his stuff?
He's better than PewDiePie, but at the same time, I would much
I
rather
am
not
Super
degrade
Club
myself.
Player, 1994, better than Beauty.
He was using
I
the
will not play. I will not
What?
sing
So hot.
I am obviously the most prettiest girl.
What? Super Club Player, 1994, better than PewDiePie. PewDiePie stole my 22 subscribers.
Hey, PewDiePie, play this game. Report this guy.
Oh my god. What's
Oh
the
my
next?
lord.
What's the next?
Oh my god, guess what we're gonna talk about?
Twitch
not
plays
Dark Souls?
Pokemon?
Yeah.
Yeah!
So if you guys don't know about
Praise Bird Jesus.
he's a
All
false
hail the Helix.
All hail the Helix.
I'm for
Shun the
anarchy.
false prophet.
Did I just like start housing a bunch of cultists?
Hi, Carson. Do you have time to talk about the Great
Oh
Helix?
no, you released 2 million.
Yeah.
Again.
Honestly, I think it's a great
Do
game.
do you follow Lord Dome? Get out.
No.
You know, after that whole
We shall maintain anarchy.
after they actually did the Twitch plays Pokemon thing, everyone started blooming everywhere for multiple different games, like Mario.
Golden
Some
Sun has one.
Golden Sun.
And,
They actually did someone did an actual World of Warcraft one, which I don't see how that was physically possible. Don't do that, please.
But
That's
yeah,
Christ.
no,
But that's
no,
Good cop.
I like the idea behind Twitch plays Pokemon because Pokemon, the original 3 games, everyone knows them. So, you know, it's not that hard to do. But when you have,
70,000.
60,000 plus people controlling the exact same game, it's going to be a clusterfuck.
It's
And
yeah.
What the?
It's going to be beautiful.
I thought Robert was about to become alien.
What?
But,
Beautiful. Thank you
I
for
mean-
sharing that with me.
But
you
you
know,
do
there's
think-
a lot of people who are saying it's not going to happen. Like, seven,
It is possible.
7 or 8 days in, you know, I was telling my coworkers about it. They're like, "Did they even leave the starting area?" I was like, "Yeah, they have.
Dude, they're like
They have
2/3
5 badges."
What was it? 5 days. 5 days into it, they got stuck for like a whole day in the maze.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Rocket Team
The auto-
HQ.
Yes, because they were in anarchy mode, and you
No,
know,
they didn't
people
have
didn't
that.
want to go into democracy.
When they first got to that area, they didn't have the democracy anarchy thing. He later implemented that to get them past that.
And the you know, everyone.
I got
Like
further out.
everyone had to, you know, go through like IRC, Reddit, like all the sub communities and say, hey, Safari Zone, we have to be in democracy because otherwise we're not going to make it through. We're not going to get strength, and that's going to
So-
impede our progress.
Now,
I thought it was
but
circles
that-
in Safari Zone.
Anarchy.
well, the thing is,
Either or,
Tough.
they're both necessary.
Oh, that's
Tux.
right.
See, the
Neutrality.
one- I don't know if you actually read into it, but apparently it was lagging the hell out of the Twitch servers to the point where all these other games were just completely not even showable at all.
Yeah.
Like the chats were just literally like way
Like,
behind.
when I was on it earlier today,
Like people on League of Legends and all that you couldn't even watch their videos.
Well,
yeah,
it didn't exactly
when I
help
was,
that they were
when
getting
I was
beat-
watching the
beat
stream
off.
earlier, they had over 120 million viewers.
Yeah, they
It
were.
was too much.
It's freaking ginormous.
And there were 80 something thousand people actively controlling.
Mhm.
Holy.
Actually, it jumped up to 100,000
yeah.
at one point. But I think that was during the weekend. But
You're gonna
it
have to
was.
explain how the fuck they're actually controlling this because I have no idea.
It's
They're using
done
it-
in
They're using an IRC bot that basically records what's being said in the chat, and
If it
and basically
recognizes
displays
it as-
integrated with the game's controllers.
okay, so
It's pretty complicated.
if it's
you read the instructions, it's
recognized
complicated.
as one of the buttons that can be pressed, up, down, left, right, BA, start, select, you type those in. It's like, hey, I read that, yay!
So-
And then it
So
puts
if 50,000 people say up at the same time, they're gonna go up 50,000 times.
Yes.
Yes.
Would you like to
But that's
describe
it.
how
That's the
it's
problem.
supposed to
Everyone
work?
is typing up, down, left,
Hold
right,
on,
A, B.
hold on.
start,
I'm literally going to
the
describe you how
menu
to
keeps
play Pokemon.
popping
Okay.
up every like
No.
5
No,
minutes.
no, no. So pretend my phone is a moonstone.
Well, you don't pick it back up because you can't pick that up.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
I think he's actually dead serious.
Oh,
That's an exact
and-
good
and here's
example of
another
what
one.
that
Here's
game is
another
like
one.
right now.
Okay.
Maybe we'll
Question,
show
question.
you in there, but it's really freaking
Now they
insane.
can't see.
This is going into the Pokemon Center. Pretend this is the Helix.
No, you're forgetting to run against the
Come on,
wall a few
Moonstone!
times. Yeah. Almost every 5 seconds he keeps pulling up the freaking the Pokedex. It's like seriously.
That's what it is! That's what it is! It's beautiful!
Did you see the videos who were actually? A lot of people were making videos of people doing that exact same thing out in the public. People were dressing up like red.
XKCD did XKCD's most recent comic was about the thing.
Yeah. I think it's actually a brilliant idea.
It's a brilliant, fantastic idea. It's
I mean, even if they don't make it,
like
but,
that,
you know,
like I posted
it's still
on
possible.
Facebook. I think that Twitch Plays Pokemon is possibly one of the greatest social experiments I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
I agree, totally.
I can
Because
see that,
like I said,
No
it's
one's
a
done
game
it
that
before.
everyone knows, so it should be easy as fuck.
It's simple commands.
But
Well, I
Yeah,
think
well,
the more
something
poetic
a person is smart, but people
Your mouth.
are done.
are idiots.
I
They're
saw
scared.
what you did there.
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
what you did there.
Like, I've
Fucking
been
props for
sending-
the Men in Black quote.
I've been spending like all my free time in the Twitch Plays Pokemon subreddit, and oh my god, there's so much glorious fan art.
What is?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Who was the one who made the Metal Gear controversy?
False prophet. Oh, Metal Gear controversy. Here we
Get
go.
out of here,
You want
Flareon!
to talk about that Metal Gear controversy, you false prophet?
You talking about the 4-hour?
I'm unaware of this, so I'm going to go gorge myself.
I'm not
while
sure I
I
read it.
converse.
Fatty.
Metal Gear's stupid. That's the whole point of the controversy.
Hey, whoa!
Well, it's
Hey,
not
the title right here.
Yeah, we got
Metal Gear is dumb and its fans are dumber.
Whoa.
No,
But
it's
what
not.
if
It's
they're
not.
dumb
It's
and
not.
what you
But are
say?
you referring to
Stupid
it?
is.
Are you
Yes.
referring
I
to
have
it?
a trophy for it.
I agree.
But no, the problem with Metal Gear is, well, yeah, Metal Gear Solid is being kind of an asshole and needs to stop because this is lazy and kind of shitty that they want to charge $40 for 4 hours and then they're like, oh, there's replay value. It's like, no, it doesn't matter. You know, shit.
I have to agree.
I will
That's
say-
just
I agree.
terrible and lazy and dumb.
So
I
wait,
will-
what were your
thing
first
is,
two
I will-
fans saying?
I will still buy it because one, I am a Metal Gear fan. I enjoy the games. I enjoy the series. But I do agree with Sebastian.
That's fine, but
I
my
think
problem
it's
is
dumb,
I
but the
refuse
only-
to purchase it because that's supporting their lazy fucking activity.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
I refuse to purchase something like that because it's just supporting. Hey, we're okay with you basically fucking us in the ass. Because it's
Yeah.
just it's almost as bad as the whole Dungeon Keeper business with you.
Oh, fuck that.
I only saw a little bit of that.
Have you ever wondered what it'd be like to just okay, you know how the Xbox One rams one enormous dildo up your ass.
This
right?
one does
So
mini.
this one does
Robert,
this
you
one
know
does
how that
this one does an
feels?
enormous dildo for every orifice you have. That
And even
includes your
some
eye
you don't
sockets.
even know you have.
That includes your eye sockets.
And
Your
your
It
nostrils.
creates orifices.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That sounds very enjoyable.
It also includes your pores.
And like the
Basically,
biggest
you
one
become
was right
Hellraiser,
after
the
Gate.
dildo edition. You become Hellraiser, dildo edition.
Pretty much.
Sounds like a good exfoliating agent.
Yes, I bet you
Dildo.
think so.
Dicks in your pores?
It's Carson. What do you expect?
That's
So
the
they're
new,
saying, let's just say they become very
I
open.
resent that.
that's the new ETO spa we're opening up.
Dicks in your skin.
Dicks in your pores.
600.
Dicks in your spores. Dicks in your pores.
Instead of a seaweed
Bingo.
wrap, it'll be a semen wrap.
That would be a foreskin wrap.
Let's see what he did there.
You know, but really though, it is kind of gross that Metal Gear Solid is just being that lazy when it's such a great respected series. That's such a down.
You gotta understand though that this is supposedly a prologue. to
Well,
probably the
You don't
big
charge
thing.
$40 for a prologue.
No, here's what
Sony did it.
I need to ask this.
Sony did
What-
it to with Gran Turismo.
Did anybody buy that?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Like 3
A lot.
people maybe.
I don't know about 3 people. I'm sure many people bought that.
A few people did, but not.
So, okay, which Metal Gear Solid though?
Ground Zeroes.
Ground Zero.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course that's filler. Of course that's gonna be full
Yes,
bullshit.
it's
Yes.
prologue. It's a prologue
Yeah.
story of what happens before
See,
the
I
whole
was gonna
coma.
say
It's
so
just
we're
look,
talking
look.
about-
That is bad because that's setting a medium in the industry that it's okay for you to just make this 4-hour piece of content and charge obscene amounts of money for.
But I think
Well,
he seems like I think he's the only person who's kind of done it.
No.
No, yeah.
No, dude. But that's the thing.
Other
It
than
only
Sony.
takes one for everybody else to follow suit.
It
And
really
you know
does.
who's gonna follow suit immediately?
EA.
The Mass Effect 4 will have 8 prequel games before Mass Effect 4 comes out.
That's
Each
what
of them will be
DLC
2 minutes long.
That's what DLC's for.
I hate to shoot you down, but if we were following that logic, we would have been on that train years ago with Call of Duty. I'm just throwing that out there.
It has become a medium though with Call of Duty.
Yeah, but the
Call of
thing is,
Duty
it's
has
called-
created
right,
a lot
but
of
I'm
unnecessary
saying-
sequels. That's what they've created.
Except that Madden was before Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And so
That's
The
a
point is
sports-
that it's not necessarily anything.
It kind of falls under a different category.
It
Sports
really
games,
does.
sports games have been doing that for. Sports games will always do that
Yeah.
because not every game can be Blood Bowl. So I mean,
Yeah, you can with sports games. You can always, every year change
It's
change
just a
the
roster
game.
change.
the only
Yeah,
thing
it's
that's
roster
different, the only thing that's
Yeah,
different
they're
about
paying
it,
$60 for a roster change.
Yeah.
every
Yeah,
year.
exactly.
But it
That's
sells.
that is the only thing that's really
the
different.
sports
about those
game
games
community is
the
very
roster.
low. It's actually not a lot of people.
You
It's
would
very
think that
low.
they just
It's-
come out with one game and say, okay, this game, okay, DLC for different rosters next
There
year.
you go.
You would think.
Perfect idea. Right
updated
there.
graphics.
Updated graphics.
$30
They-
for a different roster.
They do update the
every
graphics.
year.
They do update the engine. They do create new stuff. So yeah.
But it's not every year. So like every 5 to 6 years or 8 years.
Sports
whenever
games,
you-
yeah.
Whenever
No, sports games
you-
it is every
Well,
year.
it would be better if they released one and then had DLC into like an
Well,
upgrade
the issue
graphics.
is-
Well, that's what I'm
to a
saying.
different
Do like a
system.
$30
Well,
thing.
no.
You're
Yeah,
only
but
paying
the
$30 for a new
The
roster.
company's making them, realize that they can fucking sell whatever the fuck they want.
Well, not only that,
None
the
of
real
them have
issue
their money,
behind it.
though.
The
They're
real
wasting
issue
their money
behind
on it. But the problem is when they waste their money on that stuff, then that means that they're wasting money that they could potentially make better things.
It's EA.
Yeah, but they're
It's
not
EA,
going
they
to
don't
make
give a
better
I know. I'm
things.
saying they could be.
What were you gonna say,
I
Mark?
mean, like seriously, why do you think when you go to GameStop, like nobody buys sports games? What do you think when you go to game stores?
Man, have you gone to a
fucking-
Madden?
The goddamn shelves are just stacked to
With
the max
Madden.
with sports games.
Yeah, because people buy them and they play it.
Oh my lord!
Continue.
I was gonna say that they probably update it every other year because that sports base is as low as it is. They have a very particular.
They have people
Yeah,
that they
they
have
have to
people
fit
kind of
into
like the EA, the kind of like the Call of Duty community, which
Right,
it's not
it's
bad,
basically-
but they're willing to shell out that money.
Yeah,
to
Right.
get
It's
this.
basically update the graphics. Make it so that way it appeals to this genre that we're looking at.
It's a cult game.
Yeah, so it's
You
just,
know,
it's a following of
you
people
know.
that are dedicated to it, so that's why it sells so well.
I mean, it'd be kind of
I mean, but
hypocritical.
the problem is that a lot of companies are starting to follow suit with that, and a lot of the really good AAA companies are getting shut down, which is where I want to go to this point of the fact that
I do
Irrational
agree with
Games
that.
is done.
I do agree with that.
One of the
because
best companies of our generation is done. Okay, like let that sink in for a minute. One of the best storytelling,
It might help if you told the listeners the company.
So Irrational Games is a company that designed Bioshock Infinite, System Shock, Bioshock. They designed a lot of the really, really, really good storytelling games in the last 20 years. So the fact that they're finally just gone, and for no reason really either. There is reason.
They wanted to.
They wanted to, but it's still just really depressing to see it go.
It
Well,
is, but
better
at the
to see them
same
leave
time, it's
than
probably
see
in
them villain.
Yeah. It's better to see them disband
Like
themselves
David-
before
David-
EA bought them out.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, it's
Like the guy from Flappy that made Flappy Bird.
Well, that was just stupid fucking controversy
Yeah.
to say,
Oh.
well, I'm taking this down because it got too popular.
It got too addicting, and now
Oh,
I'm
No,
losing my mind.
that's
Johnny
not what it
Vasquez?
was.
No, that's what he said.
That's not what it was,
He's,
though.
he said this is
See,
nothing
that- I
legal.
think
This is
pop
all
culture
about.
references.
I think
No.
it's too addicting.
No, it was all had to do. It had all had to do with the legality of stuff because
With
Nintendo
what,
was
Nintendo?
like, "Aha, you're fucking kidding me." He was
Those
kind of
pipes.
forced to take it down. I'm pretty sure.
Right,
Nintendo
not
bought
only
him out
that,
to
but I
take
mean-
it
And they
down.
probably told him to, yeah, you don't say
If-
anything
if,
because we didn't want
yeah.
to look like the bad people here.
Yeah, that's exactly
If
what
I would have
happened.
him, I would have said like, guess what, Nintendo,
Going-
you need to do this.
Going
Yeah,
off
and
of
then
that,
we get sold for libel. It's fucking
He's not
stupid.
helping.
going off of that as well, actually, though, there was an interesting article that I read that was in Time Magazine recently, which was basically that Nintendo is basically a dying breed.
Mm-hmm.
And here's
They
why.
are-
They refuse to go mobile. They refuse to take the
They're
avenues
living
that...
off of this thing.
They are
This is
also
their last
dying
resort.
in the
Not
sense
that,
that they
it's
are the
past.
last living game console company.
Not
Not
sure.
entertainment
I'm saying
system.
currently
Right.
this is
Game
their last
console.
resort.
As in it
Living off
just
of now.
plays video games. It doesn't fucking charge you $20 up the ass every month you want to watch a Netflix movie. No, it's just like, you want to play video games?
You want
Video
free
games! Nintendo is literally BMO for Adventure Time. It's just like, you want to
Right.
play video games without the 20-hour install time? That's what we're here for. And that is depressing that they are dying.
It is, but at the same time, that's also an issue because we're also in a very age where most people, they don't want to invest the money in a gaming console. Which
Nintendo's-
most of us would have
Nintendo's
no
selling
problem
cell
doing
phone
that. I
nowadays,
mean, we've
so-
all got
What?
the 3DS.
Nintendo has a cell phone coming out soon.
Really?
I'd buy that.
Because they'll make a shit ton of money off of that.
What does?
Well, I
Nintendo
believe it.
is releasing a cell phone. The Nintendo
I heard that they
phone.
were doing like their own like games for the phone.
They also want to do the phone too.
That sounds reasonable, but at the same time, they have to. The biggest issue is that most successful industries have conformed to the identity
This
of
mediocrity. The gaming industry has
Well, I
conformed
do
to
agree. It is
mediocrity.
mediocre. It
It's
is mediocre.
mediocre. It's so mediocre.
Do you want to talk about fucking Steam?
Oh man, yeah. Robert and I
Uh,
watched a video the other day about so on top of the problem with the mediocrity in the gaming industry, Steam has unfortunately created this monstrosity
Is
with
it the
the
tax system?
with the
No,
Green Light
Green
project.
Light.
It's
Oh.
it's a
Green
good
light,
idea in
yes.
theory.
And no, it's a great idea. They just executed it very,
They
very
they
poorly.
need quality control.
They do.
What
Yeah.
happened?
Oh yeah,
So-
it's actually about a point.
Yeah, so let me
Essentially,
let me
it
explain Green
said-
Light.
Just
Green Light.
Okay, yeah, go.
Let me explain Green Light. Green Light, real quick, is just a system on Steam that basically people vote for games, and if it gets enough votes, Steam supposedly works with the developers to release it. But what the problem is that they're just releasing incomplete games and charging like $30 for them.
Pretty much.
And a good-
Incomplete how?
Here's an early access to the pre-alpha build
Yes,
of
it's
this
yeah,
game.
pretty much anything
And then
that's
they
been
just
released
stop.
so far is
Then they
only
just stop
alpha.
working on it. Yeah,
Now
and then
everyone's
they
gone.
just kind of stop.
So
working
pretty
on
much whenever you actually
Right.
say, "Oh, well, this game's buggy," it's an alpha.
Well,
So
the
you're
other
essentially paying for just.
Yeah,
the other issue is that there are two problems I've noticed here. Is that it's not that it never necessarily started with Greenlight. This has been a thing that has been consistent with many other game developers. If
Yeah,
anybody
Kickstart?
has heard of Cortex Command, I give you credit and I give you my pity if you did pay for it because Jesus fuck. Because basically it was a game that had a huge amount of potential, but the creator just stopped working on it because he was getting all of these alpha sales that was just like, well, I have enough money to pay for whatever the hell I want for
Which
the
one
next
was it?
year or two.
Which one was it?
Cortex Command, it was basically a
Oh.
highly moddable game where if you bought it, you could do whatever the hell you wanted with it.
But the,
And it was a brilliant concept, but the problem was, and this was all the way back in almost 2007. You know, this isn't necessarily an early concept or something that's very new. This has been something that's been going on, but Greenlight has made it to where it is
Mass
easily
produced.
accessible. Is mass
What
produced.
was the
produced
problem
in a way.
too?
The
The game
problem
that
too
brought
is
that
that-
whole situation up, like, what was the name of that game? That like you got so far into it, and then it said,
World,
this
you
is
mean the War Z?
What?
On Greenlight, are you talking about? The War Z?
was it Warzy?
Yeah.
It was some
There's a
side
lot of
scrolling
games
shooter
that are
game that was like
Yeah,
that.
there's a lot.
Oh god, the worst.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, look, the problem with it is that it's incredibly disappointing because in an industry that, the gaming industry is dying off to the point where indie games are now running it at this point. point. As far as I'm concerned, indie games are running it because AAA titles are just depressingly. Ugh.
But that's the problem with the green light is all those indie titles.
Yes,
are
Yeah.
shit.
all the
Yeah.
good is getting buried under mountains of shit. I mean, for fuck's sake, Risk of Rain came from Greenlight, all right?
It
That
did.
that
That
came
was-
from Greenlight, and that is a great game.
That,
But
and
the
then
problem-
there's like Burrito Galaxy or whatever the fuck it
Yeah,
was.
there's
That
just-
was funny as fuck to watch, but at the same time it was kind of depressing because it's like this actually was bought for
Yeah,
$10.
it's got Greenlight.
I
Yeah,
made better games.
What was
than
that game
this.
that Drunken Robot Pornography?
Yeah.
I
I saw
kinda
the
wanna
video for
play
that.
it just because it looks stupid as fuck.
I would
But at the same time,
It had nothing to do with pornography
I
at
don't
all.
want
But
to. I
it's
don't
just
want to
the
give
title.
money
I
to
want to
stupid as
I want
fuck
to play a
projects.
demo of that game.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I can speak from experience on this. And for those of you that are like into it, I've been ever since like almost the 7th grade, which was roughly 8 years ago now. I've been programming in Game Maker, so GML, and I've been a part of that community for a very long time. Early on, there are some fucking gems that a lot of people just remember offhand that were completely free. One of the more popular ones was made by a developer called Yo Mama Samana, which created Agumon. Early on, really simple concept, but holy fuck did it blow up into this amazing thing. And now he's a very prodigious developer. And one of the things is that early on in that game development company, nobody was interested in making money. They were just interested in making good games. And there are a lot of developers out there now that I know from a long time ago that were just fledglings in the game development company.
Ken Levine, that's a prime example. Ken Levine shut down Irrational Games because it was afraid it was getting too big. He was afraid that at this point, he honestly, like, he's a great man. I have a lot of respect for people like Ken Levine
Right.
and Jay Newell and Cliff Blazinski that
Just
left.
people that innovated the industry.
Yes, but they left when they realized what their companies were becoming. I mean, Cliff Blazinski did it in a terrible way as opposed to Ken Levine, where he shut down the studio and was like, you know what, everybody can go find better jobs other places now.
Right.
But on a really short note, Randy Pitchford is an example of what happens when Ken Levine decides to stay and become an asshole. Sadly enough, the gaming industry needs a lot more developers like that because
Well, one
it's
of the-
running out of.
One of the other things that I really wanted to bring up with the whole independent industry is that the biggest thing is that most of the people that were from the game maker community, they've remained indie. They don't team up with anybody. They do it all themselves. Hyper Princess Pitch. That's still the same person doing it on their own.
In a sense, that's bad though because
It's
then
bad.
it keeps quality.
If you don't move up in the world, you're not gonna make good
No.
games.
It keeps quality from coming out at a consistent pace, which in turn keeps the gaming industry with these long stretches of nothing is coming out. And if people need to, the gaming developers need to learn to work together and not let their power become, not overcome power. A great example is Supergiant Games. They're great at that. And
What's on there?
it's wonderful.
That's an interesting idea. You know how like bands do like super groups and shit?
Yeah.
What would happen if game developers did something like that?
Oh my god, that would be.
They called that
Sebastian, where's my shovel knight?
That would be. That would be interesting to see, but I don't know about the execution.
Yeah.
the hardest part about game developers, and I know this from experience, is that we all have our own ideas. It is very fucking hard to sit down and collaborate.
No,
with
it's
other
true.
people
Yeah,
and
It's
agree.
not. It's not. If you're not a vain asshole, it's not. I mean, honestly, the way I would do it is everybody gets a hat, and whatever
Depending on
name
your
comes
hat.
out, we get one hat. Whatever name gets picked in the hat, that's the idea we're making the game on this fucking time. So there you go.
That's
No,
also red
but Carson, brought up the thing of all the people from his community are still, like small people working on their own projects. Like, I brought up with you guys the idea of doing a Little Fighter 2 Let's Play.
Right.
Marty and Starsky are still making games, but they're pretty fucking underground. Their
Yeah.
most recent release was, I think it was, Hero something. I forget the name of it. But, it looks like Little Fighter 2, but it, I'm assuming it plays a little differently.
Right.
I have it downloaded, I'm gonna play it, but, we just need people who once they have their, we just need the fan bases for all these little developers to
Well,
say,
we-
hey guys, check this shit out. I mean, that's how I found out about a lot of games that I played when I was a kid. Like,
Well, a good example is
Remember
Hyper Princess
Gladiator?
Peach. Oh yeah, I do.
remember
Well,
Gladiator? That was
you know,
the shit.
As a wrapping point, because we're going over time, just go support your indie developers and pray to God that Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be good.
Yeah, my own little quip.
Pray to God.
We're gonna have more episodes before that comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, my own little opinion. It's okay if you're a fucking pirate, but if you enjoy it, please
Yeah.
support the developer.
Hey, stop pirating games. Pay money to your indie developers, or you won't get good shit. Don't be an asshole.
Well, not only that,
Um,
but if you don't like it, just delete it. But if you enjoy it, support the developer, buy, donate, do whatever you can.
Yeah.
Keep them moving. They're the innovation that we need for the future.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, piracy is totally victimless crime. No, it's not. One of my
It is in major industries, but with smaller industries, it is a very,
Well,
very
with
big crime.
with indie stuff, it's a lot harder. Like one of my favorite bands had to quit touring mid-tour because people weren't actually buying their CD; they were just fucking pirating it, and so they lost all that potential income, and so they weren't able to actually make their tour dates and shit because they couldn't fucking pay for gas and hotels and shit.
Yeah.
Go support your indie companies. Go support the people you like. And you know what, guys? We'll see you next time.
We love you.
We love you.
I hate you.
We love you.
And also, remember,
Praise
quick,
the Helix.
also, real quick, guys, in case if you're into that thing, we'll be at Fiesta Equestria
Woo!
in
Yes.
from July 11th to the 13th.
Join your favorite chauvinist.
Even if you're not into that, whatever that show is, it's got horses and shit. I don't know. Yeah, Carson loves my little.
I like yours.
But whatever. We'll be there. Also, just remember, go watch Lego Movie, or we'll kill you. Okay, bye.